grown the most this summer, and how impactful is the Manning Academy?
Well, the most I've grown this summer, I feel like in my independent film study and the training that I've done away from the school and the program, in the off season, I feel like I've grown with my accuracy, and then with the film, I feel like I've grown with my decision making, my recognition of defenses, my process of making decisions, all of that. And then the Manning Passing Academy, that was some of the most fun I've had around football in a long time. That was such a much needed a refresher for me. I mean, getting around the kids was really fun, and then competing with some of the best quarterbacks in the nation. It was a blessing to be there, and then I did pretty well. So it was just a really good refresher for me.
You talk about improving and kind of film studying that stuff. I think it's exciting to think about getting out of the practice field and testing that knowledge, how it actually tangibly works out.
100%, yeah. I feel like since I've got here, I've learned so much about football. I wish I knew what I knew now in high school. I would have been the best thing that ever came out of high school. But no, I feel like the amount of football I've learned in the past year and a half that I've been here, it's just I just keep learning more every day. So being able to get that on the field and see it kind of come to fruition is really fun.
Coach Lanning keeps talking about how it's an open competition for the quarterback spot. How confident are you heading into fall camp?
I mean, I'm always confident. If you're not believing in yourself, who is going to believe in you? So I have most confidence in myself, but at the same time, it's an open competition, like you said. So the other guys, Jay, Bo, are just as good as me. So they earn the reps they're going to get, and I'm going to earn mine. So yeah.
Now that you've learned more of this offense that Dillingham is implementing, how excited are you to kind of get out on the field and actually start putting it into practice?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Coach Dillingham's offense is a lot of fun to run as a quarterback just because it's a lot on you. And then when you get it right, it's just some of the most fun. You turn around, he's smiling, you both smiling, you throw a touchdown, whatever it is. It's a lot of fun, really explosive, so it's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Coach said he finally beat you and Jay in cornhole yesterday. Is that pretty competitive?
Listen. We went to his house a month or two back, and me and Jay mopped him. I don't think we lost a single game. And so he got his get back. He recruited, I guess, the best guy on the staff. He pulled him to where we was at yesterday, Donner's house. And we mopped him the first game 21-1. And then they came back and beat us back-to-back. Okay, they could have the two games. We won 4 in a row. It's okay.
Coach Lanning really talks about connection. How do you feel like this team has really embraced that, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I feel like this new staff has done a really good job making it not forced. All of our team events have been a lot of fun. Yesterday, we were at the Donner's house. We were all playing cornhole. I was competing against Coach Lanning. I was talking so much trash to him. Playing basketball, whatever we're doing. I feel like this team is a lot tighter. We're really good friends. We have a lot of fun doing stuff. The coaching staff is really young, so they're getting into stuff with us. Coach Love did a cannonball into the ice bath yesterday with us, so it was just a lot of fun stuff like that.
Some of the players already have talked about these get real meetings that you guys have and how much they've meant to them to kind of share and open up with teammates. Can you speak a little bit about what that has meant to you and how that's helped to create a bond with your teammates?
Yeah, the get real meetings are I feel like they're real essential to this program just because of the connection, like she mentioned, is probably the most important thing you can have on a football team. I mean, playing for someone next to you and then you really know their story, their why, what makes them tick. It really just creates that bond that some teams might not have, and then it just brings the game to another level for the team.
Have you experienced that with any other level of play or other teams?
In high school, my junior and senior year, playing with my best friends, that was some of the tightest I've been with my players, my teammates. And then this past 6 months, 8 months, I feel like it's been just like I said, it's so seamless and so effortless that we just come together as friends and teammates. I feel like it'll be a lot of fun to play with them this year, not just football. It'll be fun too.
What do you admire about Bo and Jay as quarterbacks, their skill sets?
Yeah, I feel like Bo is a natural born leader. He's a coach on the field sometimes. He's obviously older. He's going to his 4th year in college, and he's been there, done that in the SEC. So he knows his way around the field, and he just does a really good job vocalizing and doing stuff like that. He's a really good athlete. We all know that. And Butters I love Butters just because he's a really good friend of mine. He's a lot of fun to be around. He's a really good quarterback, talented with his arm, accurate, knows his arm strength, all that stuff. So both of them are really good players. Though.
Ty, what quality does someone need to have to be successful as an Oregon quarterback in this system?
I mean, Oregon quarterbacks just like any quarterback. I mean, the most important thing you can do is be right with the football. Take care of the football, because possessions and limiting turnovers is the most important thing you do as a quarterback. Making the good decisions, like I said, and putting the ball in the right spot. Not necessarily having to be the most talented, or you can run a 4.4, throw the ball 80 yards, but putting the ball in the right spot the majority of the time, making the right decision the majority of the time, that's probably the most important thing.
What was last season like for you, and how are you different now heading into your second fall camp?
Yeah, last season was a lot of patience for me. I feel like it taught me, a lot about myself and how I deal with adversity. And I feel like coming into this year, I feel like I'm really hungry to see the field. So I think it's taught a lot about how to handle adversity, how I come back from it, how I work for that. Because this season's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah.
What's it been like watching Dan over the past few months kind of grow as a coach? He talked earlier about getting in on offensive meetings and trying to grow away from just the defensive side of ball. What's that been like from the outside perspective?
I would have never guessed this is his first time being a head coach. Like, he's an outstanding coach, and it just comes naturally to him. Like in front of team meetings, he's just a natural leader, natural head coach. Like you said, he's sitting in on our offensive meetings, learning the most. He's answering questions in the back. Like he's volunteering himself to learn stuff on the offense. So Coach Landing's done a really good job, kind of holding himself accountable to learn more and more things, because he's got to be a well-rounded, head coach. But it also comes so naturally to him.
You mentioned your own personal growth. Are there other players on offense or defense that you think this offseason have really taken a step?
Yeah, I feel like, to name a few, Seven McGee has really stepped up and made some really good improvements, whether it's on the field as a player. He's one of the best athletes I've ever seen in my life. But also as a leader, kind of taking the young guns up under his wing. The tight ends have done a really good job. They do a lot in this offense, whether it's blocking and running routes. We split them out, run routes, we do all this stuff. They've done a really good job because they're just workhorses. A lot of the younger receivers that played a little bit last year, like Troy and Dante, Chris Hudson will be good this year. They've all stepped up into more leadership roles, especially Dante Thornton. He's done a really good job just being more vocal. He knows everything on the field. So yeah.
Where do you feel like the offense is at in terms of the scheme being implemented and you all being comfortable in it, and what are kind of the steps that need to happen between now and the season opener?
Yeah, it seems like, we're almost done learning the offense, and then Coach Dillingham will pull up a whole nother binder. We've got 8 more installs, and it's just, I feel like it's never ending, but that's a good thing. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff that we can put in. This offense is almost, like I said, never ending. So I feel like going into this season, whether it's game planning or whether it's a new team each week, we'll have plenty of offense for every team. And I feel like learning it and getting it down, it'll be no problem because it's all really related to each other. But yeah, the offense is deep and it's a lot of fun to run. Yeah.
You went to your earlier, the coaching staff being a lot of fun. Coach Dillingham specifically, what's his personality like on and off the field?
Coach Dillingham, he like I said, like a lot of his coaching staff is young, so he kind of meshes with the guys a lot more. I can talk a lot of trash to him. Me and Jay also mop him in cornhole often. He connects with the guys really well, like I said. He also knows a lot about football. You wouldn't expect someone that's 31, 32 years old to know as much about football and playing quarterback and running an offense as he does. So he does a really good job with that.
When you're learning this much offensive install, how comforting is it to have such a veteran offensive line that's really, they're used to playing together, and that they've kind of got that up front? Yeah,
that just kind of clears your head a lot, especially up front. Protections is probably the most important thing as a quarterback to get right. And when they're making you right most of the time, it just makes your job a lot easier, especially with the senior O-line, them playing together, them communicating with each other and you at the same time. Like, it clears your head a lot of just unnecessary noise.
Ty, why did you become a quarterback? What made you choose this position?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, when I was coming up, I was always just playing everything, and like the best athletes always played quarterback. So I was back there, but I was also playing receiver and linebacker and safety and all that. Then I realized, why would I not want to touch the ball every play? Like, I ask my friends now, like, since I played quarterback for the past 8 years or whatever, how do you not touch the ball every play and just be happy running around? So kind of getting to control the game with my own hands, and like I said, getting the ball every play. It's just 10 times more fun than just running around and not getting the ball. So yeah.
Is there a quarterback that you like to try and emulate your game off of, or someone you really looked up to in these past maybe 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I feel like not just because he came here, but I really loved watching him before I even committed here. Justin Herbert, I mean, the way he kind of carries himself, not even on the field, but just how he he's a great leader, but he doesn't say too much. He's one of the best players in the league, but he's really humble, doesn't say a whole lot. Not a real flashy guy, but he'll make the most crazy plays. You'll see him on the ESPN Top 10 almost every week. Just the way he takes care of his business, I really like how he does his thing.
Have you been able to speak with him and connect with him since now you're both Ducks?
Yeah, when I visited here, I met him when I was in high school, and then he's been around a couple times since I've been here. I'm pretty good friends with Patrick Herbert, so he's been around when I've been hanging out, stuff like that. So yeah.
What excites you about this season?
I think our potential, just because we're such a talented young team and with such a talented young coaching staff, I feel like the sky is the limit for us. There's really no ceiling. So the fact that we can go all the way and do whatever it takes, it's just so exciting because the fact that the opportunity is there means that we've got a chance and we're going to all work for it. So that's just so exciting to me.
How has the last year prepared you for camp and for battling for a starting role? How did last year make you better and put you in that position?
I feel like it just kind of taught me a lot about myself. Last year was a tough season, kind of watching a lot from the sideline, played a little bit in a couple games, but I had to learn more off the field by myself, whether I was training by myself or doing more film study by myself, because there was a lot of AB taking a lot of reps last year, so I was kind of trying to get better on my own and do stuff away from the team, and that's kind of brought me into this year, being more prepared for this offseason, this coming up fall camp, stuff like that.
When you wake up in the morning and you've got a tough day of work ahead of you, what motivates you?
Being the best, being great at what I do. I'm one of the most competitive people you ever meet, so I can't just stand if I make a mistake, it just eats at me. So, or if I'm not the best at what I do, or if I know that someone's got something on me, it just eats at my soul. So I can't stand not being good at what I do.